Anyone else imaging tonight? I can't tell if this is Aurora in the corner, but it could be light pollution. Looking at my other screen, it doesn't really show up on YouTube, but I see reddish hue on the corner of the S30 Pro of my iPad. Oh yeah. How cold is it where you are? I Another reason I didn't set up EQ mode is because I didn't want to stand outside to do an alignment. Oh, cool. I've been there when I used to live in New York. I had cousins in Jersey. I didn't really have a sense of distance back then, but I think they were near there. Hey, Dad, man. Unfortunately, not, but I do have cameras set up outside, so I'm hoping they caught something. And if you look in the corner here, in the bottom left, there's some reddish hue. It's possible it's light pollution, but I have no idea on the Seestar. I'll have to check my wide field cameras later. Hey, Mr. Bruh, thanks for joining. Oh yeah, I just saw your temperature 12 in New Jersey. Yeah, it's crazy. I think it's like 4 here. Let me check. Let me check. It is negative 15 Celsius. What is that in Fahrenheit? 1. Wait, no. 9. So it's 9 degrees Fahrenheit here, negative 13 Celsius. Fun, fun, fun. Last year when it was cold, my S30 actually had issues connecting to my Wi-Fi, so I wasn't able to do any live streams in the winter last year, through the Seestar at least. This year seems to be okay. So, well, also this year it's the S30 Pro, but a couple weeks ago when I did the S30 along with the S30 Pro, it was fine. Good idea, Dan. You can probably tell from my 100% battery life here that I already have mine connected to an external battery. Because I have the dew heater running. I think that helps too. Keep things warm a little bit. Is this my first Startrails attempt? No, this is like my third one. I did 2 more live streams with the Seestar a couple weeks ago. The first one was okay, full of clouds. The second one I did a really nice one, but I didn't see an option to save each frame, so I only have one final saved image. But today I discovered that you have to select that option before you start Startrails. So I have, hopefully it's saving each frame. Let me check. I wonder if I can check. Oh, your battery didn't charge, huh? Oh, wow. Startrails, let's see. You can see Startrails from a couple weeks ago, so I don't see the individual frames here, so maybe it'll appear later. I don't know. It's my first time trying to test to make sure it saves all individual frames. But, this looks pretty good. Just felt like a clown. Our clown's cold. I'm still working on my S30 Pro video, so a few people actually submitted questions that I'll include in my video. So if anyone else has any in this stream, feel free to let me know, or send it to me on Discord or wherever. Hey, I'm Coca-Cola. I like the name. Do I think the Startrails or Milky Way mode might work well when attempting to photograph the northern lights at the same time? So I think what'll happen is that they'll just add on. So like one thing I was saying earlier is if in the bottom left corner, I don't know if it translates in YouTube, but I'm seeing a red hue. So we do have auroras right now. So if that were the case, we would actually see color in the sky here. The only thing is that it would probably smudge because auroras move very fast, and when you lay one frame over another, they get smudged out, and possibly could get averaged out in Milky Way and Startrails mode. I am not sure, but at the bottom left hand side, it could be aurora. but it could also be light pollution. So, but it would show up in one form or another, either as like color noise or something, but you would be able to tell. Mainly because the way Startrails work is that it's not rejecting frames, it's just adding on, it's just screening on new data. With Milky Way, I'm not sure how it works yet. I mean, it's not Milky Way season. I haven't had a chance to test this yet. I think I won't get to before like May, but at that point, I would assume you'd see some color noise, but that's about it. Again, smudgy color. What I can do later is I have another camera outside as well as a wide field action cam looking near the same region of the sky, so I'll check later the individual frames whether there were any auroras in this area around this time, and then I can confirm. So that'll be fun to go over in the video if I can confirm it. And in like maybe like 20 minutes, I might be able to see Orion from this area. I gotta go outside and check quickly at some point. I'm wondering if it would be even possible to overlap the Startrails with a single frame of the Northern Lights in post-processing. Yes, you should be able to do that, but I don't know how natural it would look. Yeah, you just have to find one frame, or a couple of frames with good Milky Way, or with good Aurora, and then just screen it on, use GIMP, Photoshop, something. And the stars should match up, and then the Aurora would be extra. Totally doable. It's basically how meteor shower composites work. So you could do it the same way. Instead of getting one streak, you could just get the whole frame and screen it on. You don't have to mask it like a regular meteor. I want to pull up a Startrails from a couple weeks ago because I do really like it. Yeah, so this was the first attempt. When it loads, you'll see that it was cloud riddled. So this might give you a nice example of what Aurora would look like, because these are like clouds. If you imagine the clouds were Aurora, as it streaked across, it left its mark on the image. So imagine the clouds are Aurora. This is what it would look like in Startrails mode, basically. And then the following night, I had this thing. No clouds, I think, as far as I remember. Yeah, no clouds. So yeah, this was nice. I just forgot to turn on save each frame. So I was hoping to do a time lapse of this, but I can't. But I'm hoping I can do that with tonight's data. It looks pretty nice. And tonight, I have it more up and left to try and catch some auroras, because a lot of my auroras seem to happen like over this way. And you can kind of see my my neighbor's little chimney. Probably had some smoke coming out of it at some point. But it's cool. I like the Milky Way. I like the time lapse mode. I just did a sorry. I like the Startrails mode. I did a Startrails video as well, or a time lapse. My God, I can't speak. A time lapse mode as well. That just seems to be like a video. Doesn't save each frame. No option to do that as far as I could tell. So I'll take a look at that as well. Is anyone else planning on getting the S30 Pro? I did learn after getting it that the S30 Pro is actually a 160 millimeter focal length. So it's an f5.3 telescope and not an f5 like the S30. Hey Otto. Any video of my telescope? Yeah, this is the S30 Pro, so I'm working on an intro video. So far I've done 3 live streams with it, but I'm hoping by end of next week I'll have a video with it. Awesome. I hope you get yours soon. Hey Magus. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, the extra $200 that the S30 Pro costs over the S30 is it might be a blocker for a lot of people, I think. Especially for people who are trying to get into this cheap. So I'm going to have to talk about that as well. So, if anyone has questions about that I can put in my video, that will be appreciated. Does the Seestar have a way to stack multiple stacks together? So the Seestar has it has built-in like deep sky stack mode, so you can take all of your files and stack that. I think that's what you mean. But I usually don't use that. I think I will use that once just to test. I do everything usually out of the Seestar using Cyril or something. Do I have videos of the moon with my telescope? Yeah, if you go to my last live stream, I looked at the moon with this. I'll link to that in the chat. It's a 5-hour long live stream, but or maybe it was the first one. Hold on. I'm looking. Yep. So it's gonna be my first live stream. So I'll link to that in the video. So it's just in the beginning. I did the moon with the Seestar S30 Pro as my first live stream because it was out. Hey John, you pre-ordered the S30 Pro. I think it will complement my S50. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's I think the S30 and the S30 Pro are too similar, but S50 and S30 Pro I think would be great together. Oh, the Dwarf Mega Stack. I haven't used that either. So yeah, no comment on the Dwarf Mega Stack, but yeah, I think the Deep Sky Stack within the Seestar app is what you're looking for. Let me see. Oh yeah, this thing. This option right here. if anyone who hasn't ordered the S30 Pro yet and you want to, I have some referral links in the description. No pressure, but appreciate using it. Yeah, you could do PixInsight or have you used Cyril? I have a couple of scripts for Cyril that handles smart telescope data really well, including mosaics. I did find a way to do mosaics in PixInsight about a year and a half ago, and then PixInsight updated and invalidated my technique. But yep, agree. Quickly stacking stacks. Yeah, you can definitely do that in Cyril. Yeah, Cyril takes getting used to. The UI needs an update, needs modernization. But once you get the hang of it, it's okay. I mainly use it nowadays just for stacking because it's so fast, and then I just move it into PixInsight for post processing. That's been my workflow. YouTube Bros. I thought you need huge telescope to see good and detailed images. Why my S30 Pro so small? Seems like nothing. What I'm doing getting wrong? What am I getting wrong? Are you looking at the moon? Is that what you're asking about, YouTube Bros? Or just in general? Do I think my script would be able to stack subs from the S30 Pro and the S50 at the same time into a single final stack? It can, but I wouldn't recommend it because the pixel scale is different, and I think Cyril will probably resample one of them to fit the other one, but I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend doing them separately and then doing another stack manually, just so you have control over what stacks into what, because you want the S50 to stack into the S30 as the reference image, if that makes sense. Would you rather have a Pro version of the S50? Yeah. Or do you think something bigger would be more worthwhile? I mean, if they have the S70, man, I would love that. That would get us closer to, some planetary gazing, especially with Jupiter, at least. Maybe some more detail on Jupiter, but yeah, I would love an S50, or a S70, but I would like an S50 Pro as well. I don't have an S50 right now, so my only smart telescope so far has been the S30, and then a couple weeks ago, S30 Pro was added to my list. Yeah, I'm with Coca-Cola. Me want big scope. Yeah, Magus. Yeah, that's the number one complaint about Cyril for a lot of people. It's not intuitive. That's what I'll say. It's a really old software. I think people don't realize it, that it's been out for a very long time, and I think I used it for the first time like 13 or 14 years ago in early beta, and the look has not changed at all. So they could use an upgrade, and I think it's on the radar of the devs, so they know that this is people's complaints. But they need to rewrite the app completely from scratch because there's no upgrading the UI here to make it look any better. If the S50 Pro user uses the IMX585 but with the same aperture and focal length, then it will have a wider field of view. I'd much rather have a narrower field of view than the S50. Yeah, for me, it's like it gives you whatever gives you the better pixel scale, because then you can get fine details of deep sky objects. But yeah, the IMX 585 on the S50 Pro would be great too. I think that's what they're planning. It's such a popular sensor. I'm going to step outside for like a minute just to see where Orion is in relation to the telescope, because I think I can point it to there and do some deep sky imaging for you all. I'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, no go on Orion. It's behind a tree right now, so won't be able to see anything. But also no auroras, so it's probably light pollution that I'm seeing. But we can find another deep sky object to point to. I'll bring up Stellarium and you can look together. I like that idea, Van Dark Star. That's what I should have done. But I could look at the Heart and Soul Nebula. Let's see, maybe we can switch to that. Woof. How's this? Okay. Oh wow, the field of view is so giant. It's taking up most of the sky. I think it's 63 degrees is the field of view, so we can get entire constellations here. Okay, I think what I have to do is just get out of Startrails mode, and then we'll switch to stargazing mode. And I'm going to go to this. Where is Cassiopeia? There you are. There it is, the Heart and Soul Nebula. So I can try getting part of both of these. Let's try that. I'd love to see what Barnard's loop looks like from the S30 Pro. Yeah, I'm trying to. I was hoping I could test. I don't know if I can get like HA with the wide field camera. I might test it later on. I don't think I'll be able to test that during the live stream because I don't want to keep this going for too long. But okay, let this go. By the way, I am imaging at 20 seconds per frame. I've had good luck with that. But if we find Barnard's loop, right there. Like Barnard's loop is like here. Right. It will still need quite a bit of mosaicing to get it all done. But I need to test this with the wide field camera and see if I can get anything. It's the rosette. But okay, let's see. And we should start seeing Heart and Soul start to appear here at some point. As soon as it stacks a couple more. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Love the wide field. And I do love the auto background extraction. Dynamic background extraction. Works better when there's more data, but I'll let this go for a little while and we can see what happens here. This is not going to be data that I really stag because, you know, since this is an alt-as, I'm going to get a lot of field rotation here, and I'm going to lose the edges of both of these nebulae. So it's probably not the best framing. It's okay. It's a good experiment, methinks. Oh, and I'd like to see what your drop frame is like for 30 and 60 seconds. So I tried it with 60 seconds earlier today with in alt-as mode. It was 100% drop rate. I only had it going for about 5 minutes before I stopped it. And at 30 seconds, it was like 75% drop rate, so I stopped that as well. It could be because my thing isn't completely level, even though I did a horizontal calibration. But with 20 seconds, it's been like perfect, no drop rates at all. Or I think I had one in my last session of 90 minutes. So something about 20 seconds versus 30 seconds. Still a nice view that you can fit two nebula in the same field of view. Yeah, right. It's amazing. And you know, if you want to do a mosaic, like you can fit them and then some pretty easily. Look at that. And it's a 4.4 degrees by almost 8 degrees. But this would take a long time to actually get some good amount of data, which I won't have because this object's gonna go behind my neighbor's tree soon. I lose all the nebulae around this time. Have I tried EQ mode yet? Yeah, I was actually planning on doing it tonight, but first reason is I didn't do it because Aurora was supposed to appear, so I wanted to see if I can catch some Aurora with the wide field camera in alt-as mode. Didn't get it because the Aurora never showed up here, or it was just too bright for me to see. And the second reason is because it's cold, like super cold outside, and I did not feel like standing outside and polar lining. So I'm hoping I get another shot before I finish my video, but I don't know if I'm going to get to it. It might be a follow-up video to do EQ mode. Yeah, the focal length is 160 millimeters. This is according to the Seestar specs. Let me bring it up. Nice, yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah, so here's the product page from ZWO. Zoom in, there we go. Focal length, 160 millimeters, it's f5.3. The wide field camera is 6 millimeters at f1.75. With a 3.4 millimeter aperture. So there you go. Yeah, agreed, Magus. It is pretty good. The only thing, did I not focus? Damn, I'm looking at this. I thought it autofocused, but maybe it didn't. So I'm just gonna stop this and then run an autofocus sequence. This is my first DSO of the night, so and then after I autofocus, I think I'll just switch it to one object so that I can actually get some data and process it later. I'll probably switch it to Sol Nebula because I can compare it with the S30 because I have a lot of that already. I guess I have both. I can do both. I can do either. While it autofocuses, I'm going to put in a poll. Let's see if you can decide. Alrighty. Yeah, it's still nice that you can fit two nebula in the same view. Yeah, agreed. And Man, I wish I wish the tree in my backyard didn't exist, because I would love to get a whole mosaic of Orion, because look at this. Like, I can get Orion, Horsehead, all of the Orion's belts, and even like, and here's the Barnard's loop. Look, I can get all of this M78 all in one view if that tree didn't exist. My life is sad because of that tree. Have I messed around? No, I mean, I can't really see the Milky Way from here right now. I have to probably wait until like May before I can do Milky Way. Even Cygnus is gone for me, so I can't see it from here, sadly. Alright, I think Sol Nebula is winning. Yeah, 67% for Sol, so that's what I want to switch to. Yeah, all the Horsehead and Orion lovers would be overjoyed. That's me. It's so sad. Last weekend I was supposed to be in a Bortle 3 area at a friend's house who has open skies, but it was cloudy, so couldn't go. I'm hoping to go to a dark area in Rhode Island that has a really nice view of the southern skies for Milky Way in June. So, oh man, bad time. Look at this is the roof of my house. So, yeah. We're not gonna get any nebulae tonight. I mean, we could just go to galaxies, do Bodes and Cigar. Yeah, sorry guys, I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. Hey, WRXTI. I think I'm gonna switch to Bodes, because otherwise it'll just keep going. Be more and more behind my roof. Ursa Major. There's there's like M109 here, but which one is this one? M101. Well, we could do M101. That's a nice one. And then M51. M51 is going to look tiny, but maybe we'll do M101. There's a lot of nebulosity there. Let me see if I have. I have not done M101 yet. Okay, so M101 it is. Still waiting for your Dwarf Mini to ship. Yeah. Are they delayed? I haven't been following Dwarf at all, honestly. Ah, yeah. Hopefully you'll get it soon. Then it's only been a couple weeks. When I got my Dwarf 3 from them, it was pretty quick, and they're responsive if you reach out to them. I think M101 is poorly placed. Oh, yeah. Oh, accidentally looking into my neighbor's house. Sorry, neighbors. Right. I'm just going to go to M81 because I think that's up. The confirmation said it ships out in January, so that could be the end of the month. Yeah, true. There's still 11 days left. For the soul images, do you delete these manually, or does the S30 Pro do it automatically? S30 Pro saves them. So once this centers, I'll show you what the gallery looks like. But the S30 Pro will save them. I can discard them later, and I think when it discards images, or when something fails, I think it gets rid of them. I need to double check. It used to, at least. I don't know if it still does, but we'll see. Dwarf Mini's physical size does look impressive. Yeah, I agree. I'm seeing people carried in their pockets. S30 is small, but not that small. There it is. Okay, so it's going to be imaging this. Well, it does that. So let me show you. Yeah, so it only took 7 frames, but they're all here, like including the ones with my house on the top left. So I can throw these out later on, but if the Seestar stacks them, it'll keep them. Oh yeah, here's the moon. I forgot who was asking about the moon with the S30 Pro. This is from last week, 2 weeks ago. Looks pretty good. It's nice and sharp. I did take a raw video that I need to edit. You went back and forth between the S30, S50, and the Dwarfs. I read a lot of good things about the Dwarf, and as it was the smallest, decided to get myself a Christmas present. That's nice, yeah, that's good. I hear good things about the Dwarf too. I mean the Dwarf Mini, so I think you'll enjoy it. Okay, no, that's not gonna load. It's not just on your end, it's just not loading for me. It's just, I always have issues with these when they're outside in the cold. So it could be that. It just wasn't loading. Now that even looking at other real telescopes for the moon, I left at the Skywatcher 180. But at that moment, I don't have that kind of money. The Skywatcher 180 is SkyMax 180. Is that the Moxitov Cassegrain? It's a pretty pricey telescope, right? People have been recommending that in my Jupiter video from last week. And for the people who, if you got a new telescope and you wanna join the Discord, feel free to join. I'll put the link in the. Oh, I posted it with my other account. One sec. Where'd it go? There it is. Discord invite there, so feel free to join. Especially if you are new to smart telescopes. Lots of people in the chat in the Discord server. I think you'll enjoy it there. Yeah, the SkyMax 180 is the planet killer. I know I want that for before next year's planet season, especially since Mars is going to be around. I'll have to see. I'm at least getting a 127. Maybe the SV Bony 127, which is way cheaper than the SkyMax. So, have to see. You saw I have some Meads. How do you like them? I've seen some pretty inexpensive ETXs like the 90. I only have the ETX 90. That's the only one I own. And the Mead 16 inches is at my astronomy club, so I don't own it. It has been damaged for the past year because mice got into the observatory and chewed through some cables. I think it's fixed now, but yeah, that's not mine, so I haven't used that in a long time. Do I have any other Meads? No, I have an Orion tabletop Dobsonian, but I really like the Mead ETX 90. It's super sharp, small, very lightweight and portable. Yeah, I take it to star parties with me quite often, and people love it. Weird. There we go. 4 galaxies in this view with the S30 Pro. We have Garland Galaxy here. So, the pixel scale on this is not great, but it's actually a tiny bit better than the S30. And then we can try an auto DBE. So what I learned is that if you turn it on and then you switch targets, it doesn't auto apply, so you have to turn it off and on again. Not bad. Ed Ting, he's not a part of my club. He's part of the New Hampshire Astronomical Society, so maybe he did fix. Yeah, no, he does have a video. He has like a giant Mead SCT that he fixed. Yeah, it's not the same one. This is different. Would have loved it if he came down and fixed ours. Seems that people on Facebook Market don't understand that you can buy those meat ETXs brand new for cheaper than what some of those think they're worth. Yeah, I agree. Funny thing is, I bought mine from Facebook Marketplace a long time ago, and I did not pay a lot for it. And it was in pristine condition because the person who had it got it as a gift at some point and didn't know how to use it. And it didn't come with the mount. The person just had the OTA. Yeah, and then I picked it up. It came with a Vixen, I think 97 millimeter, weird looking Maksutov. I barely use that because it's hard to see through, but it's an interesting scope. Hey, Cosmic Ray. 26 out there, minus 2 degrees temp. Yeah, nice. Yeah, I think I'm at 7. Is that minus 2 Fahrenheit or Celsius? Yeah, I'm at 7 degrees right now. If I recall correctly, last year when I had my S30 outside, I had trouble getting data from it over Wi-Fi when it hit around 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Damn, minus 2 degrees Fahrenheit. Where are you located, if you don't mind me asking? I'm currently right outside of Boston. Oh, cool. I love the Pocono. When I used to live in New York City, I used to go to the Poconos quite often because it was a close place to get away. Tripod and Scope want to make a break for warm inside. Yeah, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Mine is probably frozen outside. I have a DSLR and an action cam looking outside as well. They're probably frozen to the snow. Oh man, 31 sounds kind of nice right now. Sitting in 8 inches of snow. Yeah, I think we got 6 inches on Sunday night to Monday. 6 or 7 inches here. So this is 10 minutes of 15 seconds. So this is 10 minutes of 20-second subs. And 0 rejections. So I mentioned earlier that when I set to 30 seconds in Alt-Az mode, I start seeing like 75% rejection rate. And then setting it to 60 seconds gives me about a 100% rejection rate. So, oops, I did not want to. I must have accidentally clicked on AI denoise. Sorry, but I'm gonna let this go. We can see what it looks like. It's not gonna be that great. Yeah, with the horizontal calibration, the S30, the S32, and the S30 Pro, they both do really well with 20 seconds. It's just at 30 seconds, something about 30 seconds, it starts trailing just a little too much and it starts throwing out frames. I meant to try EQ mode tonight, but I it got turned off by the cold weather and also chances of catching an aurora using the wide field camera. 31 is cold for us Southerners. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know people in Maine, they're like, ooh, it's a cozy 10 degrees. And I'm like, what? This is the... So this is before and then after AI denoise. Interesting. Okay, I will save it, sure. Now let's go back. Then I have more data of M81 and M82 from 2 weeks ago, which I'll probably add on and process for my video. Do the Seestars stop tracking during the exposure time? What do you mean? Which exposure time? Like when it's taking a 20-second exposure? No, it continues to track as it exposes. Otherwise, you would see more star trails. The only reason you might it might seem like it's not tracking and it gets star trails is because in alt-az mode it has to track in 2 axes, both in altitude and azimuth. So I'm sure there's some mechanism there that it can't keep something in frame for more than 20 seconds or something. I don't know. It's supposed to be able to do 30 seconds, but I have not had luck with it. It could also be that because my thing is actually not that balanced. It's about 3 degrees off. But the thing with the S30 and the S30 Pro is that if you do the horizontal calibration, it shouldn't need a flat surface as long as you're just close enough. But that could be a reason why 30 seconds and 60 seconds are failing. So one day I should try it out with, trying to get the level to 0, 0 and see if that makes a difference. But I don't have enough clear skies to get it done within like 3 weeks of playing with the telescope, which is kind of sad. How about some big objects to use wide field? What do you mean? Or, I don't know if I understand the question. Do I think light pollution sources influence the tracking? Seestar doesn't do guiding, so I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. Like if it did guiding, like if it looked at where it was pointing every couple of seconds like a guide scope, then light pollution could have that effect, but I don't think the Seestar does that. I think it just shoots and tracks and shoots. You haven't had good results with the S50 using 60-second time. Is that in alt-az or in EQ mode? I've only tested the EQ mode once of the S30. I was able to do 60 seconds. This was before they started reporting rejection rate, so I had no idea how many frames were getting rejected. But yeah, interesting. Huh. I'll have to. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to find some time to test the S30 Pro in EQ mode. Use the wide field capability, choose large targets. Yeah. Yeah, that's the. Yeah, I don't know if the wide field camera can pick up like nebulae. I want to test this on, all of the Orion nebula, see if I can get the entire constellation in something, but I need to go to darker skies for it. But that would be a good test for the wide field. Or if you mean wide field for the telescope lens, then yeah, I could do that too. We were just looking at Heart and Soul for a little bit. Yeah. Sorry, misunderstood. Yeah, we were looking at Heart and Soul not long ago. Yeah, like M31. I wish I was able to view it, but yeah, like M31. This is no mosaic, and it fits the whole thing so easily. And earlier we were looking at Cassiopeia. We're looking at the Heart and Soul Nebula here. Like we were able to fit almost both of these in the same view without doing a mosaic. And with the mosaic, easy peasy. Nice, yeah, Rosette. I did that. Yeah, here you go. This is from 2 weeks ago. I don't know how much of an integration this is, but and the bottom looks weird. It's because clouds came in. So yeah, Rosette fits really nicely in this thing. So does Orion and Horsehead. I do have some Horsehead data. Again, you can see the clouds messing things up. And there you go, Orion. Orion looks great as well. You can do 60 seconds in your S15 EQ mode as long as the object is oriented more north. Interesting. It doesn't work well when looking towards the southern sky. Huh. Interesting. I wonder what that's about. The tracking on the... I haven't figured that out yet. Interesting. I barely have a view of the southern sky, so I wish I could test the S30 that way. But I'm still going to try and point to Orion later, but it has to be like in the southeast, and I'll only see it for like maybe 35 minutes. And with that said, I am going to end this live stream in 15 minutes. I have to actually record some videos on the S30 Pro and finish up my SC571 video, which will be published next week. So if anyone has final questions, final comments, please let me know. This will cut off at 10:33 p.m. Eastern Time. You can see the time here once this thing disappears. 10:45, sorry. 10:33 right now. I usually have just stuck to 20-second and 30-second, but I recently did M81 and 60-second and had little rejection. That's great. That is great. Oh, here you go. I had one rejection at the 20-second exposure. Not bad at all. You want a telescope to see the inside caves on the moon? I don't think you need a telescope. I think you need a rover on the moon with a feed to your computer or something. But it would be cool. Yeah, I like the SE 571. I'm I've been gathering my thoughts and what all the things about it. So, but overall, I like it. It is a prototype unit, so that my unit has few quirks that won't exist in the production unit. And since mine is a prototype unit, it's going back to Siboney in a couple of weeks after the video publishes. So I have to decide whether or not I should buy it for myself. But I already have the ASI 2600 MC Pro, which is the same sensor. So the Edge HD, the C14 can do. What can it do? You want to see the inside caves of the moon? The C14. I mean, you can see the craters. Maybe I'm not understanding what you mean by caves on the moon. I think there's a YouTube video out there about where you can see if you had a telescope the size of the Earth. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of those, and that's basically what we did with the Event Horizon telescope to see the black hole in the Milky Way and in M87. So it's pretty cool. It was a reasonable price. They posted it already. It's $12.99. So compared to the 2600 MC Pro, which is $14.99, so it's about $200 less, 20% ish. And from what I heard, they're including the SV241 with it. Yeah, they didn't announce it. They didn't even tell me the price. They were going to before I published my video so that I could include it, but I never heard from them. And then the website just had it, so I don't know if they meant to tell me or if they didn't mean to publish it online, but it's out there. So I'm gonna tell anyone who asks me what the price is. Cool. Yeah, I know about the lava tubes, but since they're interior, I'm surprised the C14 can see it. But cool. Alright, since we have about 7 minutes left, I'm going to stop collecting data on this and then I'll point this to Orion. Even though it'll be through the trees, I might be able to see something. They're serious. Oh, what the heck? Bounced me back. Orion or Horsehead? DBE, not die. Any votes? First response, Orion or Horsehead, I will point to. Horsehead. Okay. Horsehead wins. Let's see how much we can see through the trees. Anyone happen to know a good camera that's good for shooting all the things we can't see in the sky besides a souped up Sony S7? Are you looking for like a DSLR or mirrorless or like an Astro cam? For a DSLR or mirrorless, I don't think anything really beats the sensitivity of like a Sony A7. I think they also have like an Astro specific Sony, right? I'm not too familiar with that. I know Canon has one. But if you're looking for an Astro cam, then I think any camera that has the IMX533 sensor is a really good start. It's a really good one. And the IMX585, which the Seestar S30 Pro now uses, is a really good one. This is not finding it, so let me see. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's through the trees. Let me see if I can maneuver around it. Yeah, 4 more minutes before I cut the stream anyway, so just having fun here. So I'm going to switch to scenery mode. There we go. So cool, look at that. It's actually spot on. So that's the Orion's belt is right here. So Horsehead is right here. I can see Orion right here. So maybe... Oh, look at that. You can see Orion. Hey. This is through the scenery mode. But you can see the tree in my backyard. Oh, what's that light? It's like a somebody's tail lights. Oops. Oh, airplane. Yeah, if I waited like another maybe like 15 minutes, Orion would be in view, but Horsehead may not be. But anyways, maybe what I can do is I'll actually go to Orion, and then we'll do some manual imaging, or just look at it. See if I can do a manual thing here. I am Bortle 8. I'm right outside of Boston. So, not great. Carl the Lazy Reseller. What do you resell? Unknown target. Okay. I'm just going to take a few images here of unknown target and see what we get. Order the S30 Pro after reading that it is noob friendly. It is noob friendly. And I will be doing a video on it. Hopefully, I'll be done with it next week. It's just been tough to get data on it. Oh, cool. Cameras and toys. I'm always on the lookout for it. Yeah, I'll post the link to my Discord again for anyone else who wants to join. Yeah, you're in 45 minutes outside of Boston. Oh, cool. Wait, have you been on the? You have been on the stream before. Sorry if I don't remember you. Like where exactly you're from? Are you from Metro West? Ooh, look at that, 40-second exposure. Makes the tree branches bigger and darker. But I'm surprised it didn't reject any of those frames. Southeast, 15 minutes from Providence. Oh, cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna be in Providence area in June. I'll be in Ninigret Park to shoot the Milky Way. So if you're already in the Discord server, then you'll probably see me talk about it. But if you're not, join there, and I'll post about it. It'll be a good meetup opportunity for people. I'll be inviting a lot of people from my local astro group who want some guidance on seeing and imaging the Milky Way. So it still looks neat that you can see nebula. Yeah, I know, right? It is pretty cool, and like the darkness is kind of adding a little bit of a contrast to this thing. It's interesting. I think this deserves a screenshot. Post it in the Discord. Yeah, that's fair. Let's see. Where else can I post that you'll see? Um, I'll also try to remember to post on make a YouTube post, if that'll be helpful. Invite people locally to that area. Oh, the other thing you can do is, I don't know how you feel about Patreon, but I do have a free tier on Patreon, so I can post an announcement there too. I'll post that link in the description, in the chat as well. Again, there's a free tier, so let's see. All right, I'll put that there. Yeah, if you have your dwarf by then, that'll be a really good place to shoot stuff in the Milky Way. Like imagine M8, M20. You'll probably get both in the same field of view. There's M16 there, M17. Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm gonna have to be careful about what I bring, because I already know 4 other people who are going to be going with me, or who are going to meet me there, and all of them are looking to get some kind of instruction on how to image. So I have to make sure I give them enough attention. So I don't know what I'm gonna bring. I don't want to bring anything that'll take away attention from them. Assuming we have clear skies. Ninigret. Let me write that down. It's in the south shore of Rhode Island. I don't know what that area is called, but it's right by the water. The Frosty Drew Observatory is there. So if you look up Frosty Drew, they also do a lot of public nights. So it's a really nice place to meet other astronomers. Watch the skies by unusually cloudy. I know, yeah. It's been like 4 years since I've been there. I used to go quite often, and then we had a kid. It makes it a little bit harder to go. but this will be a planned trip, and it will most likely be cloudy. But I'm gonna be there for, I think, at least 3 nights. So I'm hoping one night we get clear skies. Oh, the other thing that I forgot to mention is that, so now you can see that there's 2 second and 5 second exposures as well. So this is going to be great for something like the trapezium of Orion. So I'm looking forward to testing that out. Again, I don't have any crispy clean data to play with, so. Awesome. Okay, cool. I think that's a good ending point. Um, Anyone has any last questions, let me know. But I'll be cutting the stream off in a few minutes. It was really fun hanging out with everyone, so thanks to everyone for joining, spending some time, asking some good questions that I can include in my video. That video, Orion, kind of reminds me of how it looks visually through a telescope. Yeah, that's true. It does. Stars look pretty good. Yeah, Niagara Park is way down there, but it's away from most of the light pollution, and the south skies is right over the water, so it's like Bortle 1 when you look south. Milky Way looks amazing. I actually have a time lapse from there. That'll be one of the last things I do. If my browser responds. Putting that in there. Yeah, so that time lapse is from Niagara Park from a few years ago. From 2022, yeah, so it'll be about 4 years this year. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for spending some time with me tonight. I am going to cut the audio feed now and then the video feed in like a minute, just to give people some time to ask any last second questions, which I'll respond to via text. Again, you can find me on Patreon, free link there, and on Discord, if you are okay with Discord. So, thanks all. Clear skies. Last thing. This is so close to being outside of the branch, and then I'll have from this area to this area, which is my neighbor's roof. So I don't know how many degrees that is, but probably 45 minutes, 40 minutes worth of data before, yeah. Damn. If only this tree branch wasn't here, I'd get like another hour, another 40 minutes. Yeah, the tree. Beverly. Oh, I gotta take a screenshot of this. All right, anyways. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.